Snap. I'm your host, The Wager Zone. This is your co-host, Hezzy Hybrid. Say what's up to the people, Hez.
What's going on, world? Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's staying good and staying positive and staying dry. I know it's been it's been raining for the most part across
Mhm.
the West Coast.
Yeah, man, it's been raining out here in California. I know you're out in AZ. It's been raining over there as well.
Man, like cats and dogs. I'm almost scared to go out. I'm like, is this rain gonna hurt?
Yeah, man, it was yesterday. It's a little sunny outside right now. Ain't no clouds in sight right now, but yesterday it was pouring. It got to that point. Even some funnel clouds popped up out here in Chula Vista, and I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "There's a real storm out here in California." So, but yeah, guys, get right into our first topic. A lot of crazy stuff happened in the NFL this week, from Monday Night Football to Sunday Night Football. A lot of wild things, but first topic we're gonna get into, guys, is gonna be the Chiefs dominated the Lions. Like, honestly, not even like a game that was even like very competitive. Like the Chiefs looked really good. They went out there and beat the Lions in great fashion. So and a must win game for them. It was must win. Like me and you said, we said well, the team, one of the three teams that we said it was a must win for was the Chiefs, and they went out there and they did it. They won at home. Patrick Mahomes looked great, throwing all those touchdowns, running a touchdown in. He just looked dominant. So, first question of the day, guys, we're gonna get into is, what do you think, Has? You think the Chiefs are back?
I'd say they're starting to look like themselves again for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is starting to make plays and just getting more up the field comfortably. Defense is playing exceptionally well. Um, Overall their confidence has grown back, I would feel, and as a team as a whole. So yeah, I feel like at this point, just the way that they've been playing the last couple of games, obviously despite the loss they had to Jacksonville the other week, but um yeah, I would say that they are back in terms of just getting back into their groove, and Mahomes is doing his thing again, and he having somebody like Worthy coming back just made a significant difference to that offense. So, yeah, I feel like they are kind of back.
Honestly, same. I hate to say it because you know me. I thought the Chiefs were gonna have a bad season this year. They started off looking bad, and now they don't even have Rashid Rice back yet, and the offense is looking that good. And now with Rashid coming back next weekend, and Travis Kelsey looking good, Hollywood Brown looking good. What is it? Xavier Worthy looking good. The whole entire team is just the offense is clicking. The defense is had their actually the defense actually had a really good game against the Lions. That was the first game I thought the Chiefs defense actually showed up, and I was very surprised by that, just because the Lions have been dominant on offense. The Lions have been scoring on everybody, but it seems like they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't really pass the ball as much on the Chiefs. The Chiefs went out there and just won this game pretty easily against the team that me and you both, and a lot of people I feel like said was going to be the best team, or what was the best team going into this week in the NFL. So with the Chiefs getting that win at home and a must-win victory, they're now 3-3, and the schedule doesn't look that hard coming up. So I think it's safe to say the Chiefs are. I'm sorry, guys. My dog is decides he wants to play right now, right behind you. So if you guys hear a lot of clicking and running, my dog just jumping everywhere. But yeah, I believe the Chiefs are back. I believe I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I still have some faith in my Super Bowl pick of the Bills making the Super Bowl. But as of right now, we'll get into the Bills later on. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are back, and I think they are a Super Bowl contender, I guess you can say, with the way they're playing after that win against the Lions.
Yeah, most definitely, man. They are looking completely opposite of how they started off the season. Obviously, the record doesn't really. I feel like doesn't really equivalent to how they've been playing so far. Obviously, they've been taking their bumps and bruises and working what they have, but
Mhm.
they they are definitely looking good though. So hopefully they can keep it up, and it's going to be real tight in that division. So hopefully they can keep it competitive.
Yeah, that division is looking really good. The Broncos being 4-2, the Chargers being 4-2, the Chiefs being 3-3. That division is actually looking really well right now. So they're gonna have to win games. They want to win that division, I think we both had the Broncos winning that division. No. I think you had the Chiefs winning the division at the beginning of the year. I had to double check on that. But I think you had the Chiefs winning and the Broncos second. I had the Broncos winning the division, and I had the Chiefs in second and the Chargers third. That was in the preseason picks, but it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be really tight. So, but the Chiefs against the Lions, they look really back. They look like a dominant team, looking like on offense. They're looking like this might be the best Chiefs offense since that like 2021 season where Mahomes went out there had a great year with that with Tyreek and those boys. I think it was 2020, maybe it was 2020, maybe it was 2020, maybe I'm not exactly can't remember the year, but that offense looks like it's clicking and their the light show is back. I mean, it looks like Mahomes is out there having a field day. So now we'll get into the next question. What we'll just say is like staying on the Chiefs and Lions. With the Lions coming out there and losing that game as bad as they did to the Chiefs in a game that a lot of people believe the Lions were going to win, a lot of people believe the Lions are the best team in the league. Did the Chiefs expose the Lions? Do you think?
Um, and just that game alone, the Chiefs seemed like they were just getting everything that they wanted against them. Um, Especially against that secondary, which was arguably like a pretty decent secondary going into that game. Like
Mhm.
that's what really helped them out, especially on that defense. But they were just that game. They were just getting exposed all night from which led Mahomes to kind of just take advantage of them. So this was probably one of the very few couple games where I feel like in the season the Lions just couldn't do enough in the second half to come back. Um, but other than that, it was pretty much just all the Chiefs from the start. It just they look like the old Chiefs. No matter if they were just
Mhm.
trying to sling it to the White House or give it to Kelsey or even running the ball. And Mahomes he didn't seem like he was getting so much pressure up front that much. So yeah, for the most part, they were getting exposed that game, and you know hopefully they can bounce back from that. But for the most part, they weren't really on their best game.
Yeah, I want to say the Lions were. I want to say they were exposed for being that Super Bowl contender because I don't know now that they played a team that's actually looking like it could be a Super Bowl contender in the Chiefs. I think that was the only team they played that looks like it can be a Super Bowl contender, and the Chiefs went out there and dominated them. It just seemed like the coaching was just running circles around Dan Campbell. Like Andy Reid ran circles around Dan Campbell. Like it just showed that they cannot stop anything going on that defense. I know some. I'm the secondary is a good secondary, but I know they had some injuries going into that game on the secondary for the Lions. But still, to not score that many points. Like personally, I had the Lions winning that game 30-27. Like I thought it was going to be a very close, high scoring matchup, and the Lions were going to come out there and barely pull it off. But the Lions' offense looks very stagnant against the Chiefs. It looked like they just did not know what they were doing. Jamar Gibbs couldn't get off. Jared Goff couldn't get off. It just seemed like it was Chiefs all day. So I don't want to
Yeah.
say exposed to the point to where like the Lions going to start having a bad season. I want to say more of exposed as not a Super Bowl threat, in my opinion. Now, I don't. I think honestly, like at first we were looking, oh, the Lions can make the Super Bowl. I don't know now. Now we have to see how the Lions look against the Eagles. We have to see how the Lions look against the Rams, how they look against the Buccaneers. I think those teams are all teams that could take out the Lions now because it's just showing they played their hardest matchup against an actual real Super Bowl contender, and they went out there and they lost in the dominant
Mhm.
fashion. So I think the Lions might have still have a good season. That division is going to be tight as well, coming down to the end. But because with the Bears doing good, the Packers having their team they have, that division is going to have a probably a tough time as well. But yeah, I think I just have to say they are exposed as not a Super Bowl threat, but as a decent team going into the league. I mean, going into the going in later on in the season, I think they still have a good season. They're still going to beat the team they're supposed to beat, but Super Bowl contender, I think they expose the Lions as not a Super Bowl contender and easily not the best team in the NFL anymore.
Yeah. They were pretty much my pick, for the most part as the best team coming into
Mhm.
that game. But yeah, that loss kind of knocked them back a little bit. They're still one of the top FL, but yeah, as far as, going all the way and making possibly a Super Bowl in the near future, they don't seem their chances are starting to slim. But for the most part, they're still up there, but they have to bounce back, because the last
Mhm.
thing they want to do is to start going on a run with these losses. Next thing you know, it's starting to you know bite them in the butt because like you just said, that division is really getting tight. Same as like the AF out in the AFC. So um, they got the pieces. They have a really good team, as we've seen. How they produce on the field in past games, but um, hopefully they can bounce back. And it's not too bad of a. Even though they did lose, it wasn't like it was against a weaker team. So
Mhm.
nobody's really gonna jump down their throat like that. So hopefully they can bounce back in the next week or so. I know they got the Bucks coming up, and I know it's gonna be on their from their perspective, they're not gonna. take a game off and feel like, oh, well, this is probably going to be a easy win, or, this is not going to be as close as they think. It's going to be a dogfight. And, they're arguably going against a runner up for MVP. So, they got to get back to where they were playing before.
Yeah, and they do got the Bucks coming up, so that's going to be a very good game. I'm excited for it. So, like the Lions, they might have a tougher schedule coming up after this, so we'll see how they do.
Yeah.
Me and you both had them finishing third in the division. I think I had them making the playoffs, but just third in the division. You had them in third, missing the playoffs. So right now they're 4-2. But
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. It's still only week 6. There's a long road down. They went out there. They look bad against the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs expose some holes. Maybe some other coaching staff see some holes in the Lions. So they're going to come out there and exploit now in the next upcoming game. So we have to keep an eye on the Lions, especially to see if they keep it going. And now just staying with the Chiefs and the Chiefs guys, Mahomes, 4 touchdown game. I think he had 1 rushing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns, and an all around just an amazing game from him, and a game that was a must win for him. I know it was at home at Arrowhead. They were underdogs and they went in there and won the game. So with Mahomes having a great question, I will leave this question off where it's has Mahomes taken over the top spot for MVP over Baker Mayfield? Honestly, guys, I'm gonna say no. Not right now. Is Mahomes in the top two, maybe second, maybe third? I think right now, if you got to say who are the MVP candidates, I think it's Baker, Dak, Mahomes. They're all in three in that spot, but I don't think he's taking the spot over Baker Mayfield, where Baker Mayfield has been honestly killing it. Like another win for him with his whole wide receivers are gone, and it just seems like that Baker Mayfield is doing things that almost like what Josh Allen did last year, where Josh Allen went out there and he had people gone and people getting hurt, and Josh Allen was putting up a light show, leading comeback wins and all the time. And Baker Mayfield's on that point right now. This team is 5-1, so I don't think Mahomes has taken that spot from Baker Mayfield yet, but Mahomes is in the MVP conversation right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump him past Baker for sure. Not to sound biased or anything, because I'm a Bucks fan and a Baker lover at that. But
Hmm.
don't get me wrong. Pat has done some incredible things in the past, and still is for the most part. And he's just gotten back into his groove with the team. But you know, with all due respect, nothing compares to what Baker is having right now and so far in the season. Like you just said, he's really working with a bunch of third, fourth stringers out there, people who weren't really going to expect to see the field at all, let alone barely
Yeah,
play special teams. So, um, you know, just to throw him back in the mix, and you know, eh, I'm not mad at it, just for the simple fact that like we all know who Pat Mahomes is, but I hate the fact that it's being brought up as a narrative, especially on different sports platforms and different other places, because it's like now that he's back in the mix, it's kind of like, in a sense, overshadowing of what Baker is doing at the moment.
hmm,
And on top of that, Baker, in my opinion, has just, as we said before, he's doing way more with way much less, and still
hmm.
has a better is a and the team still overall is the top team to beat right now, or being top, or being ranked as such, and they have a better record going into week
Yeah.
7. Um, yeah, I just say for now, like Mahomes is not the front runner over Baker, just simply because look how much Baker is doing on the field, and it's just not right to kind of just overlook that. Just the fact that Baker is literally doing everything and more, to kind of keep that team, and they're still ranked as a number one team.
Yeah, like you said, Patrick Mahomes is doing some incredible things right now. He is having a great last couple games, and I feel like just when it comes down to where two quarterbacks are playing great, you got to look at the moments. Who's had the better moments? Baker Mayfield's had the better moments. He's coming in there leading. I think he has 4 game winning drives in 5 games. So, and out of the 5 wins, 4 of them are game winning drives. He's doing that. His number one receiver went down. His number two receiver went down. His new rookie, his third receiver just went down. Chris Godwin's in and out of the lineup. You don't even know if he's going to be even play. Hopefully Chris Godwin can get back. Like it just seems something's going wrong right now.
Yeah.
But he's in and out of the lineup, and yeah, just Baker's doing a lot more with less. And then you also got to look at, like you said, who has the better weapons around them. Mahomes has better weapons around him. Who has the better coach? Mahomes has the better coach. who is like Baker Mayfield is has the team has a better record. They're 5-1. Mahomes is 3-3. And you can't come. I know we're trying to look past it, but Mahomes still has 3 losses. And in those 3 games, he gave up a pick six to lose the game. I think people forget that. Like he gave up a pick six that basically costed them the game against the Jaguars. So
Mhm.
Baker hasn't really given up a pick six to lose the game or anything like that. He has like one interception, I believe, one interception. It was against the Eagles where that man was down everybody. So he just tried to make a play and he had to come out there. And he has no Bucky Irving too. So it seems like everybody on the offensive side for him is gone. So I do believe Baker Mayfield is easy to front runner right now. I honestly, if I had to rank him, like I said, I have Baker one, Dak two, and the Mahomes three. People forget what Dak's doing. Dak's coming out there having a great season as well. I know they just lost against the Panthers, but that does not take away from what Dak is still doing. That
Yeah.
defense is horrible, and Dak has to carry them. In my opinion, if Dak Prescott leads that team to the playoffs, we might have to talk about Dak Prescott being MVP because Dak has no defense. His CD Lamb was down. He's throwing to George Pickens, but still no CD Lamb, man. Yeah, I think Mahomes is not the front runner. I have him at third right now, but if he keeps playing like this and Baker still keeps playing like that, it's going to be towards the end of the season, Baker Mayfield or Mahomes. But like you said too, the media they might give it to Mahomes just because he's the NFL's darling. He's the new guy that everyone loves. Every time he makes a play, they have to show what Mahomes is doing. Like, but I feel like Baker is starting to get to that point where there's so many ex players and so many people are just starting to love Baker Mayfield. So yeah, I don't think he is the front runner yet. I've had Baker Mayfield at the top spot, and I even have Dak second. Now staying with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield with another win, 5-1. No Ibuka, no Bucky Irving, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. He's out there cooking without any of these guys. He's throwing to whoever they put out there. He's making finding them open. He's running first downs after breaking 2 tackles from a sack, running to a first down, juking out one defender, then diving for the first down again. And man, like this guy is making plays right now. It's starting to look electric. Like Baker Mayfield is just that dude, man. I like Baker Mayfield so much. So my question is for you, Hez. It's your team, so I'll let you lead this one off. Fully healthy, are the Buccaneers the scariest team to play?
We said time and time again of what their full potential is when they are healthy. And just look how much the team is playing alone despite not having the main guys on the field and barely having the backups at that, dude. Like I said, we're
Yeah.
like down to our third string, other than like Vita Vea and like Levante David out there. It's like, man, God behold, knock on wood everywhere around the world. Like, hope these guys can stay healthy, and these guys aren't young either. They've been in the game for such a long time already. Um, but on both sides of the field, man, they barely deciding last minute, like, okay, this player is going to play or this player is not going to play, and who knows how long they're going to be out for. But look how much success they're already having so far. As you mentioned before, the 4 game leading drives by Baker to win him, and then this game against the Niners was the first game where they actually were comfortably having the lead and we're going to beat him by over just 3 points. He was
Mhm.
pretty much we were already in the league going into the half, and then we just seemingly not let the foot off the gas. So, but it didn't matter who we were throwing it onto the field. Hey, we had Tez Johnson out here making plays. We have the vet Sterling Shepard. We have Cam Johnson, who's just the punt returner for us, and I believe he's a rookie or barely in his first year. So it's like no matter who it is, man, everybody's stepping up and making these clutch plays when it really matters. So, but all in all, despite all that, and despite the injuries and adversity that we've been facing, because everybody's like, well, they're not the only team that's banged up right now. Between them and the Niners, it was like they're pretty banged up as well. And I was like, yeah, but it's just clearly who wants it better or who wants it more. So at the end of the day, look how much success we're having so far, and we haven't even been close to being 100% since week one, but we're still ranked as the number 1 team in the league right now. And
Mhm.
you know so that just already says the testimony of this team moving forward. So just imagine if we are fully healthy, or at least get to close to between 80 and 90%, such as just getting Mike back out there, maybe getting Chris Godwin, is and nobody's really tripping too much about that because he just came back of horrific injury from last season. So,
Yeah.
it's to be expected. Like, yeah, he's not gonna probably play a lot of these drives or stay in the game most of the time. He might miss a game or two just to kind of not overwork him, because we're gonna need him down the stretch, especially when we get towards the end of the season. So, but yeah, man, in all actuality, we said it a thousand times. Like, man, the Bucks are is it's kind of shocking in a way to Bucks fans and to fans that are fans of the game is that look how much we're actually doing good and that we've been pulling out these wins. Like I said, this was the most comfortable win we had against the Niners at home this past Sunday. But overall, man, they're doing they're doing their job and more, and we're not even close to being 100%. And the fact that we're at the top right now, and I'm trying to be humble about it because at the end of the day, that can one loss can just knock you back down so many ranks down. So, but at the end of the day, man, yeah, when they're healthy, everybody has to watch out for them.
Yeah, I think fully healthy, they are the scariest team in the NFL right now. Like, everybody has to be put on notice by this Bucks team because beginning of the year, I sent you what my records were at the end of the year. I had the Bucks going 14-3 and then being the number one seed in the NFC. That's literally what I had. I had the Bucks only losing 3 games this year, winning about 14 of them, 14 games this year. But if you would have told me that Mike Evans went down, no Bucky Irving, no Ibuka, Chris Godwin came back and he wasn't even playing, and then the defense being as hurt as they were, and the offensive line being as hurt as they were, I would have told you they probably 2-3 right now. Maybe or 2-4, maybe
Yeah,
even 3-3, barely. But 5-1 when all this is happening is just wild to me. Like, it just shows that potential. Like, with the full team, everybody healthy, I have them going 14-3. Now they're hurt and they're still 5-1. So it seems like when everybody comes back, they're even be playing better. I don't want to put too much of a like hype around them right now because I don't want to just like put hype around them and be like, oh yeah, they're gonna win the Super Bowl because I'm not ready to say that yet. But
right.
man, if they come out there and they beat the Lions with all these injuries again, I think it's like time to say are they the Super Bowl contenders? Because it seems like right now everyone's starting to agree the best team. So yeah, agree. With all these injuries, they just look nasty still, and I believe when they all come back, they're going to be even better. So yeah, they are the scariest team in the NFL, and I think everybody should be scared to play them. Besides the Rams, I'm telling you that right now. Besides the Rams, I'm kidding, but everybody should be scared to play the Buccaneers when they're fully healthy. That team is doing great things right now.
Yeah, man, it's very exciting to see what they have accomplished so far, especially Baker. I'm at the point where if this man keeps it up against the Lions and for the next few games or so, it's like I think I was texting you like a week or two ago. I was like, look, if they don't give this man the MVP this year, I swear I'm gonna stop watching this because this is not this season shouldn't just go down the drain like that. I mean, like I said, Pat has always been doing what he's been doing best for the last like pretty much since before COVID. Um, and Dak was arguably like my favorite quarterback before I obviously switched over. But it's like, man, I just really feel like nobody else really deserves as much as Baker right now, especially after everything that he's been through, how much he's been counted out, and even when after he left the Rams, people were still kind of doubtful, like, oh, okay, well,
Hmm.
yeah, he found another team, but like it'll probably just be another just kind of redo, and then he's gonna get cut short, and he's gonna have to find another home. But the fact that he's sticking it out here, and they believe in him as much as he's actually going on the field and laying it out there, it just shows really how much he's not only his worth, but of what he's able to do. And yeah, man, I just really just trying to, like I said, kind of just take it still one game at a time. It's still early in the season. Still trying to be very humble about it because they say as soon as you start to feel your highest, next thing you know, you just get hit rock bottom. So
Hmm.
I was already kind of feeling bad the fact that I'm not able to see everybody that's supposed to be the main person out there, regardless if it's on offense or the guys on defense. Everybody just seems to be in and out of these lineups, and it seems like, oh, this injury is not going to be too bad. He might miss one game. Next, he misses 3, 4 games, and it's like, wow, but we're e- we're pretty much down to like our rookie cornerbacks out there
Hmm.
because Jamel Dean just came back. Obviously, he had a good game, but we're down to our rookies and just people who we barely just signed from training camp. And the
Yeah.
fact that they're already making an impact like that just shows the true spirit of this team, man. And it's really cool, and just overall as a team chemistry and even off the field when they're in the locker room, everybody just seems to. I don't think anybody has a problem with each other on that team. Everybody seems to be very much in sync, and everybody's very close off the field. Everybody's great. They're like, they're all family at the end of the day. So even if they're even if they do lose a game, which obviously they only lost once, even when we lost against Philly, nobody was pointing their fingers at each other or kind of like
Hmm.
showing signs in interviews like, if I got the ball more, or if we could just tighten up, or if coach gave me some more playing time. It was nothing like that at all. Everybody's on the same page, and as long as they keep that train rolling, man, I really feel like we're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing about the Buccaneers is that they have a great leader in Baker Mayfield. He keeps the troops together. Like he is a guy that was counted out. He was a guy that was a walk on that had a chip on his shoulder to make it. So he understands how all these guys feel. Kind of like not comparing Baker to this guy, but almost kind of like Brady. Where Brady was a guy that was a late draft pick. Like Baker was the number one overall pick, I believe. I think Baker was number one, maybe number two. I think it was number one. But
Yeah,
it comes down to where, and I'm not saying like he was a fourth round pick like Brady, but Brady had a full ride scholarship to Michigan coming out of high school. Brady was
yeah,
a guy that had a full ride. Baker had to go and switch schools because he wasn't getting playing time, and then he became a walk on Oklahoma. Went out there and earned his way up. So it just shows that he has the grit. He knows how it feels to be on the bench with this with the team. He knows how it feels in that play. He knows how it feels to have a chip on your shoulder. So I feel like he even does better with these guys that coming in because he's like, you know what? Let me let the NFL know who these guys are. So he wants to do that for his team as well. And just with when Mike Evans comes back, that man will miss 4 or 5 games and still come out there and get 1,000 yards in the season somehow. So like when Mike Evans comes back, we already know Baker is going to target him, and Mike Evans is going to come out there and have a great season. So yeah, and me and you are both on the same train. The Bucks are the team not to mess with in the NFL when they're fully healthy. So now let's talk about a team that is a team that no one's scared of anymore. It seems like this team has lost their aura in the past couple weeks. Bills went out there and lost to the Falcons in Atlanta. The Bills look like they just couldn't do anything. Honestly, the game was still within reach in the third and fourth quarter, but the Bills just could not get the ball down the field. Every time they made the way down the field, it was a fumble or an
yeah.
interception. Josh Allen threw 2 picks in that game, which is not too surprising because Atlanta has right now. Atlanta has the best passing defense in the league. So Atlanta has the best secondary in the league. They have the best passing defense, but their run defense is like middle of the pack, which I don't understand why didn't they let James Cook keep running the ball as much? Like, if you know that that was the
Yeah.
way to win, I get Josh Allen's your guy, but you're going against a team that has a mediocre run defense, but the best pass defense. Obviously, run the ball. Like, even on, I personally, I had James Cook anytime touchdown, so I was kind of even more mad about it. Like, and James Cook, you would use him to get all the way down the field about to hit a 30-yard line, and then say, you know what, we're gonna start passing the ball. Like, what are you guys doing? Like I didn't understand what they were doing, but more one thing I want to say is about: do you think it was more of the Bills just blowing it and losing that game, or do you think it was more of a Falcons coming out there and winning it?
I just felt that it was straight up the Falcons just wanted to win it more.
Hmm.
Um, for Buffalo, you know, just really only obviously they were doing pretty good regardless if they had lost or not in the past weeks. They were still putting up good numbers for the most part and still playing their game. It's just obviously some teams just got the better of them, especially the game against the Patriots. But only putting up 14 points against them is not going to win you a football game, let alone against anybody.
Yeah,
So that was a major red flag for starters, and that's leading up to now going into week 7. That's 2 losses in a row for them. So this has to be a match, that ignites them to get back on track because they if they don't end up winning at least this next game coming up, they are starting to kind of fall into that narrative of necessarily kind of being frauds or just simply not getting back on track to actually, start being one of those top teams. Right now, everybody's starting to doubt them. Like, okay, your guys are not out of it, but you guys aren't necessarily going to be considered a top team moving forward right now.
Mhm.
The last thing you want to do is not to be considered to barely do anything for the rest of the season, let alone barely start looking to playoffs. Because right now, it's looking like it's in the favor of New England, just a way of like they've been coming out winning big and they're getting their confidence back with Drake May under snap. So
Mhm.
um yeah, it was definitely more of a Falcons win in my opinion.
Same. I think the Falcons went out there and just took the game from them and just hit him hard right. And as soon as the game started, like they looked like defense was showing up. The Bijan Robinson had an amazing game. I think he had a touchdown, 192 yards. Like Bijan went out there and just showed like I might be the best running back in this NFL right now, and I'm happy for him because.
Yeah,
What Bijan's doing this year is what I expected him to do last year. Last year I had Bijan Robinson winning Offensive Player of the Year. He went out there and
mhm,
he kind of had a mediocre season, but I feel like that was more on them trying to force Kirk Cousins being the guy, and instead of like letting Bijan cook. Now they have Michael Penix at the quarterback. They know we're a run heavy defense. We're a run heavy offense, and our defense is going to keep us in this game. So with Bijan playing the way he played yesterday, I feel like I feel like they just went in there and took it. They went. They said this game is in our house in Atlanta. You're not going to come in here and beat us. You're not that good of a team that everyone thinks you are. We're not scared of you. So I think the Falcons went in there and took that game because they're just a very good defensive team and running the ball. And the one thing, if you know about anything about football, what travels, what wins games usually, like what travels to other places and wins games, is your run offense and your defense. And those are the two things that travel. Because you can
yeah,
be in bad weather and you can still be able to run the ball and play your defense. Passing might
it's
be a
true.
little harder in bad weather, but running the ball and defense travels around, and that's what they look like they have it. So I agree with you. I think the Falcons went in there and won this game, especially behind Bijan Robinson and that defense, man. That Bijan Robinson, man, that good was just wild. He had an amazing game, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, like before I left to take pretty much take the bus to go to work that day, literally the last play I seen before I left out the house was him pretty much taking off for a TD, like what was it, on their own 20.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did that, I was like, oh, okay, like they coming out a little different this game. They're starting
He
to
had
punch
a
him in the mouth a bit. And
82 yards run.
82 to the house. And as you seen, like I think it was the safety coming over from the Bills, he could have easily tripped him up or got him out of bounds. But once he missed that tackle, I was like, oh yeah, he's gone. Like that's
Hmm.
it, Bijan's about to have a he's about to eat this game. And then I get to work, you know, granted I'm still like trying to learn everything there, but it was busy. So I'm like, okay, they're having me do a little bit of everything, but they got TVs everywhere. So they're playing that game and then having the Bears game. So I'm like, okay, let me try to see what's going on. All right, let me try to focus in on this game. And then I'm so running around like a madman, but every time I'm looking up and I'm like, wait, Buffalo still hasn't they haven't put any more points on the board. I was like, yeah, that alone is just not going to win them the football game, regardless of how
Hmm.
Atlanta was playing. Bijan's obviously having a great game, and even Penix was doing his thing. But I'm like, dude, like so far this season, that was like probably the worst game I've seen in effort wise by Buffalo. So yeah, man, I just kudos to Atlanta for making that huge win, but overall, the Bills got to just simply play better.
Yeah. The Bills got to play better, but Atlanta might look like the real deal, and that leads us right into our next question. After after that win for Atlanta Falcons, do you think they're playoff bound?
Um, it was a good win for sure. Especially a good team, a top team at that, as towards the Bills. But right now, I don't want to say we're bound into it just yet.
Mhm.
Uh, I need to see just a little bit more from them, such as just really just consistency, down the stretch if they're actually trying to do something this year. Um, we all know what Bijan can do. Drake London's out there a dog when he wants to be, and so on and so on. But it's a good start, but only time will tell if they really are going to show what they're made of. So 3-3 is they're 3-3, right?
They are. I'm gonna look. I'm looking at the AFC. Hold on. Let me go. They are 3-2. They had a bye
three and
week, so
two.
3-2.
Yeah, definitely that bye helped them a lot, and they're on track. So if they win this next game, they're gonna be 4-2, and then it's gonna make our division in the South a little bit more competitive.
Mhm.
So you know, um, hopefully they can go on a little roll here. But that's definitely a good sign. But for right now, as much as I would like to say that they're bound, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna hold it off to see if how they do for the next couple of weeks.
I know it was a great win for them. It was being at home and that defense looked up, but I'm gonna say no, just because they are 3-2 right now. We have a lot of 3-2 or 3-3 teams right now in the NFL. Like
Yeah,
the Cowboys are 2-4-1, but they're still a team that can make a wild card spot. You got you got that division with the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears. They're all like 3-2, and they're all having a great season. I don't know if they're all 3-2. Let me see. That division is oh, I'm on the AFC again. That division, let's see right now. Commanders 3-3, Cowboys 2-3-1, Packers 3-1-1, Lions 4-2, Vikings 3-2, Bears 3-2, Panthers 3-3, Niners 4-2, Seahawks 4-2, Rams 4-2. So there's a lot of teams right now. So I'm gonna say no, just because there's a lot of teams that actually got some wins. Like one thing I like about the NFL this year, there's not one besides the Bucks. The Bucks are still looking good, but there's not one dominant team. Like you're
yeah,
not watching the NFL thinking, okay, these two teams are the best teams in the NFL right now. Right now, it seems like even everyone's having a great year so far. And then if we get into
yeah,
the Falcons' schedule coming up, this next 3 weeks, I'm gonna know what the Falcons are because this week they got the Falcon. I mean, they got the Niners. Next week they got the Seahawks. Week after that, oh no, wait, hold on. I think I got that wrong. Hold on, let me double check. The heck, I swear. Did that game just go away? Hold on. I swear it was just right there. Now it just the whole schedule just changed. What the heck? We'll go back to it again. Okay, that's I was looking at it wrong. So they got the Niners this week. Then they got the Dolphins, who they'll probably beat the Dolphins. But they got the Niners, they got the Dolphins, and then they got the Patriots. Then they got the Colts. Then they got the Panthers. And then the schedule gets a little easier. They got the Saints and Jets. Then they got the Seahawks, Buccaneers, Cardinals, Rams. So they got a tough slate coming up. So in this next 3 weeks, especially when they play the Niners and the New England Patriots, 2 games in these next 3 weeks, if they come out of there and they win both of those games, then actually I can say they're playoff bound. But
yeah,
as of right now, I might say that the Niners and the Patriots might beat them. To be honest, the Niners game a little closer because you don't know how that team's going to react coming off of the loss this week. But the Patriots, I had the Patriots beating them. Like the Patriots are looking nasty right now. Patriots look like a really good team. They are
yeah.
leading the division right now. Who would have thought the Patriots would have been leading the division over the Buffalo Bills this season? But it's happening. They're
Right.
both 4-2, but the Patriots hold that tiebreaker. So to answer that question, I'm going to say no. I don't think they're playoff bound. It was a great win. Don't get me wrong, but I don't still don't believe the Falcons are going to make the playoffs. So now, like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'll just pretty much restate that. Yeah, pretty much. I would say no just for the moment too, man, just because I still want to see what this team is really made of. So they are definitely in the same boat as, a few other teams, such as they're still trying to find themselves, as
Mhm.
who their true identity is as a whole. So yeah, man, these next few weeks are really gonna show of what they're really about, if they actually are willing to go out there and compete, and to see if they actually are actually going to be competing with us really in the division. Because right now, not only we're the top team in pretty much the league, but we're looking like we're just going to take another conference champion or division championship this year. So
Mhm.
we already beat them the first time around. So by the time they play us towards the end of the season, hopefully they look like a different team. So, but Bijan is always something to worry about in terms of looking out for him, because he can just go off at any time. But
Mhm.
other than that, they still have a lot to figure out with, the quarterback situation. Are they going to keep Penix out there? Are they going to kind of share some more minutes with him and Kirk back there? But Kirk, as you said before, Kirk looks like he's like, "Oh, look, you can put me in if you want to, but I'm not really tripping. Like I'm getting paid practically just to be here."
Yeah.
He's going to just continue to be a good mentor to him. But they have some dogs out there. And like they have the best pass defense right now. Obviously, the run defense isn't necessarily the best, but yeah, man, they're still trying to just put one foot in front of the other, and I wish them the success moving forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be a close couple weeks. We'll see how it goes because I do believe they beat the Dolphins. Niners I'm 50-50 with right now, but I do believe they lose to the New England Patriots. So we'll see how these next couple weeks go. And now just going over to the other team, shifting real quick to the other side, the Buffalo Bills. Now, like we said, back-to-back losses. One to the New England Patriots, one to the Atlanta Falcons. And yeah, what I want to say about that game is, I mean, about that team is, do you think the Bills are frauds? Do you think they put on too high of a pedestal of everyone saying they're Super Bowl bound? Josh Allen, new MVP back to back. Do you think they're frauds, or do you think it was just a bad couple weeks and they'll fix it moving forward?
I think personally, I mean, I know everybody's already trying to just say no, like they're frauds. They're not the same team. They're you know probably gonna get bounced out early if anything. But I think it was just really just a bad couple of games to be honest. Like
Mm-hmm.
other the other week in the loss against New England, they still played very well and they kept into the fight. But obviously not so much of this past game against Atlanta. But you know they have to pull through this upcoming week in order to keep competing as one of the top teams. If not, really just to keep the Patriots off their backs in that AFC East. So um, I wouldn't say they're frauds right now. I would say if they lose the next game or two, then it's like okay, we might have to revisit this and be like, what's going on with them. But I feel like I almost expect them to kind of come out this week and make a statement like, okay, yeah, we weren't on our best the last couple of games, but we're still that team for the most part, especially really just having Josh Allen out there, they always have a fighting chance. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, hopefully they can get back to running the ball comfortably again with Cook back there, but I know the receivers just kind of been shaky a little bit, but other than that, like the everybody knows the Bills has always been established in terms of the firepower that they have. So, and the defense is hit or miss, but for the most part, when they want to, they can step up to the plate when they feel like it. But um, yeah, I'm gonna have to give them probably another game or two to see how they really prevail from these back to back losses. So just for this week coming up, or just for now, I wouldn't say that they're frauds. I just feel like they just had a bad couple games.
I agree. I think they're just a bad couple games. I don't think they're frauds at all. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, I said I still have faith that the Bills can make the Super Bowl because they're my Super Bowl pick. And so I still have
Yeah,
faith that they can make it to the Super Bowl. And honestly, looking at the schedule, I might sound crazy right now, but the Bills have a chance to go 9-0 in the next 9 games. Like listen to this schedule right now. Oh, they only have 2 games where I'm thinking like those are games you can lose, but I think they can win both of them. They got the Panthers next week. I think they can beat the Panthers, especially like it's going to be hard for Josh Allen to lose 3 games in a row. So I think they beat the Panthers. Next week after that, they got the Chiefs at home. That's one of the games I'm saying they could possibly lose. But the one thing, if you know, is that Josh Allen always beats Patrick Mahomes in a regular season. I don't know why, but every time they meet in the regular season, he beats Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah,
it's possible that it's going to happen again. He's going to go out there and beat Mahomes again. So Panthers, Chiefs, and then they got the Dolphins, which I feel like everybody can beat the Dolphins right now. So they'll go out there, they'll beat the Dolphins. And then the next game, that's possible they can lose, but I think they can win it because they're at home. And this is one of the games I had the Buccaneers losing in the beginning of the season. I had them going 14-3. One of the games I had them losing was against the Bills. So they're playing in Buffalo. So I think the Buccaneers can possibly lose to the Bills. I think the Bills got that one because they're both at home. Like if they're playing in Arrowhead or they're playing in Tampa Bay, my conversation would be different right now. But they're playing at home in Buffalo, and it's getting
yeah,
cold out there now. So it's starting to get to that time where Buffalo's going to start winning some games. So yeah, Dolphins, then the Buccaneers, then the Texans, then the Steelers, the Bengals, the Patriots. I don't think they lose 2 games in a row to the Patriots. Most in division matchups they split it. So
yeah,
then they get the Browns in the next 9 games. So Browns, Patriots, Bengals, Steelers, Texans, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Chiefs, Panthers in their next 9. And if we want to get to the last two games of the season, the Eagles at home, another game that they possibly can lose, but at least they're playing at home. And then they got the Jets to close it out. So it seems like in the next 11 games, They only have three losable games, and they're all at home. They're not going to lose all three of those games at home. They'll win two. I think out of those three, they'll probably win two. They might lose one, that we might lose to. I don't know. I have a feeling they might lose to the Chiefs. I feel like this might be the year. This might be the year that the Chiefs beat them in Buffalo and regular season. But they will win two of those games at home against those teams that can beat them. The rest of the games, they're very winnable. Like all those Bills are better than all those teams. Like I'm gonna say it one more time: Jets, Browns, Patriots, Bengals, Steelers, Texans, Dolphins, Panthers. All those games are winnable. So I really feel like in the next 4 to 5 weeks, we're gonna start that conversation back up. Oh, the Bills Super Bowl contenders. I think we went from Bills are done. They need to figure things out. Oh, they lost back-to-back games. So now next week we're gonna be talking about oh they're good Super Bowl contenders again. But the games they lost to are two teams that are literally built to beat them. They literally are built to
Yeah,
beat them. Like the Patriots, they have a solid defense and a solid quarterback now. Like they have a team that can beat them. So Josh Allen went out there and get a divisional matchup and lost. It's possible they lose divisional matchups. It's what happens. Divisional games are always close. The Falcons, best defensive defense in the whole entire league. The run defense is not that good, but they have the best. I mean, they have the best passing defense in the league.
yeah,
So two teams I believe that were just built to beat them, and yeah, I thought the Bills would win those games, but still at the same time, like they're games that they could lose. Like one of my followers was telling me, he messaged me the other day. He said the Bills are going to be the lock this week. Bills are not going to lose. I said I don't know. He messaged me and said the Falcons are trash, and I said the Falcons are not trash. I was like, I think this is gonna be a close game, and I got the Bills winning it by like 3 or 4 points. But I was like, the Falcons are not trash at all. The Falcons have played good teams this year, and they're a really good team. So I was like, don't. He said, I was like, don't. I was like, the Bills are not a lock whatsoever. So that's what I did tell him. So I think the Bills can bounce back, and like I said, I'm thinking about 5 weeks. We're gonna be saying, oh, the Bills are Super Bowl contenders again.
yeah, man. And I'm rooting for them, especially because, of what they have established in the past and where they are currently. They, even with this past loss and there's two losses in a row, I would still consider them a top team for the most part. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just a matter of when they pretty much bounce back. And as you pretty much stated out, they have the schedule coming up for the rest of the season, in their favor. So these are very much winnable games, and you know, it is going to be a it is going to be an advantage for them because a lot of these home games are going to be playing in this wicked cold weather and this snow.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of teams don't know how to do that or how to win or just let alone even do the little things on when the weather is against them. So yeah, man, I feel like the Bills are going to be just fine, and when it's said and done, everybody's going to kind of restate their opinions about are they frauds or are they back on top. But I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, as long as you have Josh Allen out there, the Bills are never counted out.
Yeah, Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakur. That defense is decent. Like the defense is starting to give us some points, but it's still a decent defense. I think they're going to get it back on track, and especially with it getting cold over there now, and in Buffalo, they're going to win those games. Like Buffalo, that's the one thing they have in their favor. There's only one team in their whole entire schedule. I mean, two teams, but one of them sucks. Like the Browns. The Browns can deal with the cold weather too, but like they're not a good team, so I'm not worried about the Browns. So besides that, it's the Patriots. There's only two teams that really can deal with that cold weather that's used to it. The Patriots too, but I just don't see them losing back-to-back games to the Patriots. I just don't see it. So
Yeah,
now we're on the same page of that. In a couple weeks, we'll revisit this, and we'll probably be talking about how the Bills have won back-to-back games and they're on the way to a Super Bowl contender again. Now, getting into a topic that I'm very excited to talk about because I'm happy for this guy. Bears went out there and beat the Commanders. Caleb Williams had a pretty good game in the rematch against the Commanders. Jaden Daniels went out there and basically lost the game for them. So it just he basically a fumble, then an interception. He went out there he just did not have a good game. The Bears have won 3 in a row now. Like going into Washington, where everyone expected them to lose that game, and they went out there and pulled it off. I even told you, I said I'm picking the Bears. I think we both picked the Bears. We both said this is going to be the upset. Bears are going to go in there, they're going to win this game.
hmm
So the 3 wins in a row. Offense is clicking, defense is clicking. I'll leave this one off. Are the Bears starting to look like that playoff team that we thought in the beginning of the season? Yes, they are. Their defense is starting to click. They're starting to get some stops, key stops when they need it. Caleb is starting to click with his receivers. It seems like Ben Johnson just needed a little bit of time to work his offense in, and it's starting to work. He's starting to go out there and win games. If last year we were talking about the same team last year, they would have lost this game. They would have went out there and won a close game and pulled it off at the end with a very close win. They would have lost. Now this season, they're looking like a team to beat. They're looking like they're going to make the playoffs. Like they are 4-2, right? Didn't I just say that they're 4-2, right? So I think like I want to double check. I want before I say they're 4-2. I believe I just said they're 4-2. Let me see. All showing me the Bills. NFL. Here we go. Yes, they are. Oh no, they're 3-2. They had a bye week. They had a bye week, so they're 3-2. But look at that division right now: Lions 4-2, Vikings 3-2, Bears 3-2, Packers 3-1-1. It's still right there. They're all within a half game of each other right now. So
Yeah.
I think the Bears are going to make the playoffs. I think the Vikings are going to fall off. They're 3-2. I don't think the Vikings are going to make the playoffs. I think the Vikings are eventually going to hit that hard roll and end up losing games. The Lions just went out there and got blown up by the Chiefs, so we'll see how their morale turns out. The Packers, we both had the Packers winning the division this year, but we both had the Bears finishing second, and it's still possible. I think the Bears are looking like a playoff team, 3 in a row against some really good wins. And if you look at the Bears' schedule coming up, let's see what they have coming up. The Bears got the Saints, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Giants, Vikings, then Steelers. All winnable games. The Steelers is the one game where we have to see, okay, we'll see how Caleb does against that Steelers defense and Aaron Rodgers. But the Vikings, don't beat the Vikings. The Vikings are nothing right now. The Giants, okay, we got to think about the Giants because Jackson Dart. We'll see how it goes. But I have faith in the Bears that game. The Bengals, I have no faith in the Bengals right now at all. At all. The Ravens, we'll see. We'll see. It depends. That game they might lose because it depends if Lamar's going to play. It depends if they're going to bring Lamar back or just sit him out for the rest of the year. And they probably might bring him back. So at 1-5, we'll see if they bring him back or not. But the Bears play the Ravens. That one depends on Lamar plays, and then they got the Saints. So I out of those games, out of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of those 6 games, I have them winning 5 of them because I see the Lions. I mean, I see the Ravens might beat them. That's the team, the Ravens, because Lamar might be back. So I have them winning 5 of those games, and if they go 5-1 in the next 6 games, they're for sure going to be in that second spot, or maybe even the top spot in their division. So I think they are a playoff
Yeah.
team. They're looking good right now. Ben Johnson's starting to pick up the pace, and offense is clicking, defense is clicking. So I'm very excited for the rest of the season. So yeah, I think the Bears are starting to look like that playoff team that we thought in the beginning of the year.
The Bears. um, yeah, man. Caleb and the guys are starting to play better, especially when where they are in the season so far. Um, they should feel good moving forward about themselves after that game winning or driving into that game winning field goal against Washington in Washington. But um I would say just don't start getting so cute moving forward, Like it's
hmm
gonna be a dogfight in that division. Um they are starting to look like that solidified second team, if not the first, or to be that front runner to be the leader in that division. So depending on how the Packers decide to show up in these next couple of few weeks. But when and we said it before, when Caleb plays good, they all play good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, they just got to keep it up and keep believing in one in each other. And yeah, man, I would say right now they are looking like a pretty decent playoff team. Not really sure how it's going to play out in terms of if they do end up sneaking in, they might just be enough to kind of be a wild card or maybe get out the first round. But
Mhm.
even if that's so, that's going to be, in my opinion, that's still a good season for the Bears. So um, I was also at work, and I mean, I didn't really find this out really until I had pretty much moved into Arizona. But like, there's a lot of Chicago transplants here, so everybody's a bunch of Bears and Cubs fans. So, but just
Mm.
specifically at the job, everybody and their mama was a Bears fan. So like, everybody's not even really caring about the Bills game. Everybody's just like, "What's the Bears gonna do?" And when they kick that field goal, everybody's like, "The Bears." So I was just like, yeah, like, it's not my team, but like I can ride with y'all. I'm a Bears fan while I'm working here. So um yeah, man, it was a really good win for them. They look really good. Right now they are looking like a solidified playoff team.
Yeah, I agree. We'll revisit this later on down the road, and we'll talk about it. We'll see after how they look in this next like three games. Probably and we'll revisit to see if they're a playoff team. But they have a winnable schedule coming up, and I'm just very happy for Caleb Williams. Like Caleb is starting to win games. He's starting to look like a good quarterback. But hey, let's revisit this real quick. Jaden is starting to have that sophomore slump. Jaden is starting to come out there and not look as dominant as he did last year. And he's already had back-to-back injuries in 2 years. He got hurt last year and he got hurt this year. I don't
Yeah.
know if Jaden's gonna be able to stay healthy. Like I said, his legs are like very small. So we'll see how Jaden does staying healthy. And I want him to stay healthy. I do, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. And he's already gotten hurt once. We'll see if he gets hurt later on down the road. I do believe he might just because like I said, he's very small. But Caleb is starting to look like the second best quarterback in that draft class right now. As of right now, because Jaden, I feel like everyone said Jaden was the best, and they were like all over it. It was like done, complete. Jaden's gonna be the superstar. Now going into this year, we kind of have a three-man race right now. As of right now, Drake May is looking like he might be the best quarterback coming out of that draft class. Like Drake May is balling, so Drake May look like he might be leading the best quarterback of that draft class. And right now with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, it's neck and neck right now. It's right there. They're both like Jaden Daniels had a good year last year. Caleb had a I mean, Caleb didn't have a bad year last year, but he had a decent year. Not what everyone expected him to come out. Now this year, Jaden's kind of having that sophomore slump, and Caleb's having that sophomore rise up.
Yeah.
So they're kind of neck and neck. So yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick or revisit that, just because like Caleb's starting to do really well, like, and Jaden's kind of dropping down a little bit, and but Drake May is having a season right now. He might be the best guy in that draft class.
Drake. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites right now for sure. As for JD, man, I like him, but at the same time, it just seems like last week when they beat the Chargers, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's back. Maybe he can stay healthy. Maybe this team can actually do something for the most part, or go like on a couple game winning streak or something. But then it's like, then they turn around and lose this type of game, and it's like, all
Hmm.
right, which I'm not mad at because obviously I was rooting for Caleb and the guys, but it just seems like every week is always it's kind of wishy washy with the Commanders, especially with JD under there. It's like, okay, rather if he plays or not, they're like, okay, cool, they won this week. They're starting to trend upwards, and they lose, and it's like, oh, okay, you're going back a couple notches, and they win again. So I feel like it's just gonna be that type of season for them, really.
Hmm.
So it's really hard to say with Jaden Daniels there. Is he gonna actually overcome this, or it's just gonna be those sophomore slumps, like you said, for this season, and then see what he's gonna be made about this year. So um, obviously they have kind of a better chance too to kind of maybe compete with the Giants in terms of the second place in that division, but I don't know. It's kind of tough right now because, like I said, every week it just seems like okay, they might do something and then they kind of just fail. So, um, but as for the Bears, man, yeah, like Caleb is really looking good right now. It's really him and Drake May that's really up there. That's going to be like who's going to be between those years of draft classes for quarterbacks of who's
Hmm.
really going to have a better career moving forward. So, um, yeah, man, I'm rooting for the Bears.
So now we'll get into our next topic right into this, guys. It's going to be the Ravens are one. Is it 1-5 or is it 1-4? What is it? Ravens are 1-5 now, guys. Ravens are having a horrible season. They are 4 games below 500. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-1. So there's a big gap between winning that division right now. It's gonna be. I think winning the division is off of the hands right now. Like, I think it's done. They're not winning that division. Pittsburgh seems like they're going to run away with it, especially with Cincinnati and the injury Cincinnati has. Lamar being out, Cleveland just
Yeah.
a bad team. I think they're going to start running away with that division. So my thing is with Lamar out. It's a two-part question, and the Ravens starting off 1-5. Do you think the Ravens are officially done, not making the playoffs? And do you think they should sit Lamar for the rest of the season?
Oh man, it just hurts because it's like, man, I had them coming in doing extremely well this season, but to me right now they're just done. Like I
Yeah.
don't see any type of improvements. I'm gonna literally say this is literally their last chance to prove me wrong because having this bye week coming up this does help them with giving Lamar some time to come back from injury. But let's be real, it's not just him that is the problem of why they've been playing so poorly.
Yeah.
And the rest of the games in the schedule are winnable, as we said in or as you said in the last podcast or episode. But at this point, they have to go out and just simply want it themselves. So it's gonna literally take a whole collective of the whole team to kind of just get it going, man. Because yeah, like they could blame it all they want. Like, yeah, we don't have Lamar out there, and they go in Cooper Rush, but I mean, the team just isn't looking good. They already weren't really looking good, even when Lamar was still out there. So,
Yeah.
uh, and I was kind of back and forth in a way in terms of seeing if they should sit Lamar out for the rest of the season because record wise and how the way they've been playing, I'm like, yeah, like why would you kind of risk it? But at the same time, at this point, he could literally be the only reason why they even kind of come back. So 1-5 is not going to be definitely easy. I don't even think really anybody has came down from that and still had a successful season, let alone make
Hmm.
the playoffs. So um, I would still say stick it out. It's still when he's actually fully healthy or just able to kind of bear with the pain and get back onto that field. I would just say, yeah, eventually they just have to kind of look forward to getting him back and then see what they can do. But um, and then if they are still in that slump or they still lose a couple games, even the fact that he has came back, then they're gonna have to start revisiting and be like, well, you're back and healthy now, but even with you back on the field, it isn't necessarily changing anything. So then I would probably say sit him out. But for right now, I'm like that's their only best bet is to get him back to kind of get some type of glimpse of hope. So, but yeah, Lamar definitely should come back and still play and see if he can carry them back to be in some type of contention. But other than that, as of right now, I'm gonna say the Ravens are just done.
Yeah. To be honest, like I'm gonna give you what I think, and I'm gonna give you what's gonna happen because there's two different things. Like,
Right.
so what I think, being 1-5, I think they're done. I think like they had to come in there at least win one of those games without Lamar for them to actually have a way to make it into the playoffs. But there's too many good teams in this year in the NFL, and who even knows if Lamar's even going to come back? Their defense is still looking bad. Like Lamar don't play defense, so they're still giving up points on
Trash.
defense. So they can't stop anybody. And even if Lamar comes back, if they lose one more game with Lamar even back, they're for sure done. Like they can't lose another game. They're 1-5 right
Yeah.
now. You're not gonna make the playoffs with how it's looking right now in the end. How good these teams are in the NFC in the AFC. You're not gonna make the playoffs with 6 or 7 losses. You're not. You're just not. And so Lamar is going to have to come in and win all the games for the rest of his schedule. And I just don't believe it. They're going to give up one game they should win. They're going to lose a game they should lose. They're going to lose at least two more, maybe one or two more for the rest of the season. So I think their season is completely done. So that's what I think about that. And also what I think is they should just shut Lamar down. Just shut him down. Don't risk him coming back and getting hurt again. Don't risk it. Like if he comes back and gets hurt again, now you're looking at next season. Like, dang, it's next season. Is he going to be? Is he going to be healthy for a start next season? Just give up the season, like, and just let it be. Just like start Hutley, start Cooper Rush the rest of the year. But that's my opinion. What's going to happen is they're going to start Lamar. They're going to bring Lamar back and after the bye week. He's going to end up playing, and hell, he might even win some games. But like I said, he has to win out for them to make the playoffs now, and I just don't think that's possible for them. They
Yeah.
they have some like a few tough games. They have an easy schedule for the rest of the way, but like after they for the next like 6 games, they had an easy schedule because we went through it. They had like an easy schedule for like the next 5 or 6 games. But after that, their schedule gets hard again, and then Lamar's gonna have to win those games. And even though they have a easy 6 game schedule coming up, they can still lose one of those. It's still the NFL. The teams lose games they're supposed to
Mhm.
win all the time. So
Yeah.
I just don't think it's possible for them to make the playoffs. I think they're completely done right now. They're going to bring Lamar back. Harbaugh just came out and said, "I believe we can still make the push," but he's a coach; he has to say that. But with how bad that defense has been playing, they should just shut Lamar down because what Lamar's going to have to come back and do, he's going to have to He's gonna have to be Superman. Lamar can Lamar be Superman? Yes, he can. He come out and do Superman type of things. But the one thing he can do that Superman could do is Superman can fly around the world and reverse time. Lamar can't do that. You're still 1 and 5. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a hard road for him. They're gonna bring him back, but personally, I think they should just shut him down.
Yeah, I feel like that's just the right thing to do, man. Because like you said, he shouldn't even have to go to do that. For he's Lamar Jackson. He's really talented. He's an incredible quarterback. But
Hmm.
coming straight off an injury like this to kind of being looked at, or yeah, being looked at as the savior for this team, it's just so much pressure on this man. And who's to say, like, you're already kind of already looking at not having a good season, or not really having a successful one in terms of going into the playoffs. So why risk it? It's
Hmm.
going to be too much on him, and the last thing you want to do is to re-aggravate his injury, or to have him have a even more messed up, a more severe injury that's going to keep him out for even into next season.
Yeah.
So um yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what they're gonna do, but ultimately we can both agree, like, they should just kind of just let him just sit for the rest of the season, because they literally, I just don't see that this team has enough heart to actually prevail from all these losses, man. They just aren't playing good football on both sides of I mean, especially on defense, but even on offense, they just can't generate anything going on. Like, I know they just played you guys, and
30
nobody really
points.
expected. Huh?
I said 3 points. They couldn't even get
Yeah,
it.
3 points, man. Like, and you really look at it, like, if this was Madden right now, people would be looking at it like anybody that's controlling the sticks would at least put up at least a touchdown. But
Hmm.
the fact that they couldn't, and obviously it's against a tough defense in the Rams, but man, that just looks bad. I mean, that looked worse than the Bills, how much they put up against the Falcons. So,
Hmm.
and not to compare them, obviously they're in the realm of their own. But geez, man, yeah, I don't. It's tough to say that if they should actually just kind of just run it up when he gets back. But even when he does, man, like, why would you want to put that in the hands of of Lamar like that? I mean, obviously they already look like they are nothing without him, but even when he comes back, I just don't see that it's going to be literally enough for them.
Remember the last time they had, because the last couple games, I mean, the last couple years, Lamar has been putting up numbers, but he's been putting up like numbers, but more if you watch how he played, he is very precise with what he does. Like he chooses when he has to run when he needs to. He throws the ball, he's the pocket passer when he needs to be. When he first started off his career, he felt like he had to do everything. He was running around doing a whole bunch of different stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson." And do you remember what happened? Later on in the season, he got hurt. He would do great for the beginning of the year, and then like later down, right before the playoffs start, Lamar would get hurt, and that's what was Lamar's beginning of his career because he was doing too much. Then when he toned it down a bit, so you know what, I can be a pocket passer a little bit, I can run a little bit, and I can do a little bit of both and just be precise, and we're gonna win some games. You bring him back this year and make him do what he did in the beginning of his career when he's older now, and him try to do everything as much as possible, running the ball, throwing the ball on some crazy deep throws when he's on the move. He's eventually going to wear himself down. He's going to get hurt again. So there's no reason
Yeah,
to it. All you're going to do, yes, if Lamar Jackson comes back and wins games, they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't. If they make the playoffs, Lamar Jackson should win MVP. Tell you that right now. If he comes back and leads a 1 and 5 team back to the playoffs, Lamar Jackson's MVP. But he's not going to do that. They're not going to make the playoffs. So all you're gonna do bringing Lamar back is just lose some draft picks. Like they're not lose the draft picks, but just fall down the draft board. You go and drop the season right now. Don't bring Lamar back. You're gonna have two first and second round because the beginning of the second round still has some good players in the beginning of the second round. You drop the rest of the season and you just like let Cooper Rush and Huntley play, and then you lose some games. You can bring in some good pieces for Lamar. You can get him another wide receiver. You can get him some defense that actually can stop some people. You can get him a guy that can rush the passer. You can get him a cornerback that's a top receiver. You can actually get some good
right.
picks. But all you're gonna do is bring Lamar Jackson back into the year when they're already 1 and 5. You're just gonna drop down the draft board. That's all you're gonna do because he ain't leading you to the playoffs. So instead of being like the number 1 through 3 pick, you're gonna get like the 15th pick. And you know what? You have one draft pick, and you better get it right because that second overall mid round second pick is not gonna be as good probably. So
Yeah.
They should, like I said, they should just do that. I don't. Like, there's no reason to bring Lamar back. And like, mark my words, he comes back and starts doing that Superman stuff, he's gonna get hurt again. So there's no reason to bring him back. Now, get into our next topic. This is our last topic of the day before we get into our top five teams in the NFL. Actually, not last topic because I always forget to send you over Thursday Night Football. I don't know why I did Thursday Night Football never pop in my head. I'm like, dude, we do the show on a Wednesday. Remember Thursday Night Football? But last topic, then Thursday Night Football, and then top five teams in the NFL. So the Browns, another loss. Dylan Gable out there looking not like a good quarterback again. Like they're trying to protect him and keep the balls in the sticks. So, yeah, there. See, Dylan Gable. That's how Dylan Gable is very, very short. So man, Dylan Gable, another loss. Looking bad. He's just still not in the screen. But yeah, it's Dylan Gable. Another bad year. I mean, another bad game. Like for first game, if I had to give him a grade. First game, I gave him a C, like a C minus. It's D plus, C minus. Dylan Gable's first game. This game, I'm giving him a flat D. He's not the F because he didn't throw no picks, but they didn't score again. They could not score another. They couldn't really put up numbers again. They're trying to keep the balls in the chains and trying to protect him by throwing these little small drag routes, little screens. But another loss. Offense looks stagnant again. Is it time? Has Is it officially time for them to bring in Shadur Sanders as the starting quarterback next week?
That's all I can say, man. It's just do it already. Like I'm tired of just kind of like looking, being like, "Yep, it's only bound to happen." Is or we told you so. Like sideline, like he's not. He's trying to be humble about it. Like, yeah, like I'm trying to be supportive of my teammates and my team in general, regardless of if we're doing good or not. But he's almost giving off that body language. Like, look, are y'all done playing yet? Are you trying to just are you actually trying to win some games or give a little bit of hope or try to develop a quarterback that's actually made for this team and that just single handedly fits better? Yeah, it's been that time for the most part, but more than ever. So Shador literally deserves to be the starting quarterback, especially now. There's no because they traded off Flacco. There's no competition in the depth chart anymore. So at this point, like I know it has to be nerve wracking for Dylan Gabriel because he's like, look, if I'm not coming out and this is obviously his second game, but he's like, if I'm not gonna actually improve drastically within these next couple of games, next if not this week coming up, he knows he's gonna be out of a starting. So
Mhm.
I know he's already sweating bullets. Like, man, I gotta go out here really well. But even then, man, like even if he does decently, it's he just doesn't look like he's ready yet, and let alone just for this team alone. So I don't really see him actually going forward to hell yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I said
Shador
last
time.
week it was Shador time, but this, like I said, even going to this Sunday when we did our show on Saturday, I said this is what I'm calling the Shador game. Dylan Gabriel was going to come out there and not score points again. And then one thing, if you know about what happened, the coach Stefanski didn't want to draft Shador. The GM didn't want to draft Shador. The person that told him to draft Shador is they got a call up from the owner said, "You better you guys wanted him. He ain't doing that good. Like we our fans are gonna stop showing up to the game. I feel like the fans should start saying Shador, like it's Shador time. Start putting up some signs, get him in the game. But this is the perfect time to start Shador too. Right now, they got the Dolphins next. Please, Please put Shadur Sanders in against the Dolphins. He will win that game. If the Browns play the Dolphins and they have Dylan Gabriel at quarterback playing the way he's doing, they're gonna lose again to the 1-5 Dolphins. Like, is that what you need? You need him to come out there and lose to a horrible team like that for them to go out to for you to put Shador in? I'm just begging them. Please put Shador in against the Dolphins. They're gonna win that game. He's gonna look electric against that defense, and then we can start saying this is the guy that was projected to go top 10 before the after the season, the projected second overall pick, and we need to see this guy play. Like it's time. The owner needs to make the call and say, "Yeah, guys, you guys done? Your guy, your Stefanski, your guy Joe Flacco went. He didn't work out. GM, your Dylan Gable, he went in. He didn't work out. Now put in my guy. Let Shador come out there and play. And before Shador ends up leaving and doing something really great in another place like Baker Mayfield is, and you guys ruin another game, another quarterback, and you guys lose out another time because it is Shador time. That defense is good. You have some decent receivers. You have a decent running game. You just don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball yet. And there's one guy that can throw the ball that everybody that knows football is saying he's a good. Mel Kiper says he's good. Skip Bayless says he's good. Stephen A says he's good. Hell, we're going to like some even quarterback guys. Joe Klatt says he's good. Dan Orlovsky says he's good. Tom Brady says he's good. The only people that don't believe he's good is the Browns. So I don't. Everybody's saying put Shador in, but they just won't do it. I'm just hoping they do it this year. I'm waiting every day when I hear my notification on my phone go dun dun. I'm looking at my phone like, is it Shador? And they're gonna say the start of Shador. So I'm just waiting for it. Like I even watched the Browns game last week just so I'm like, let's see if they put Shador in. Let's see. Like I even messaged. I think I even messaged you. They were down so many points, and I was like, just put Shador in. Just put him in. Just let him play. Let him finish the fourth quarter. Let him do something. But it's time. It's time to give up on the short man and Dylan Gabriel and put in Shador Sanders and actually score some points because right now they cannot score points. And mark my words, if they start Dylan Gabriel again, the 1-5 Dolphins are going to beat them. And then that's what it might take. But they should just let Shador go out there and cook the Dolphins, please. Just please let him go out there and cook the Dolphins. So yeah, it's Shador time. It's been Shador time. It's been Shador time since the beginning of the season. And now we're on going on week 7. It's still Shador time. So they need to put him in.
Yeah, let me say first that uh, I seen Skip Bayless rock a Bucks hat the other week, so I'm gonna just say that he's a Buccaneers fan now. I don't care what history you had with the Cowboys, but like it's a new age, man. Like you're doing the right thing. Keep
He's
supporting
a
us.
he's a Baker. He's a Baker fan. I think that's what I,
Close enough, baby. Like
I'm not
it's
gonna. I'm
enough for
not
you
gonna
to
lie.
support.
I'm not gonna lie. When Baker was having those bad years, I feel like there was only 3 people on earth that kept telling everybody he's a good quarterback. Me, you, and Skip Bayless. Everybody else gave up on him, but us 3, we were just like, "This guy's good. I'm telling you, give him a chance. Put him in there with a good team." And then finally, Baker's doing it. So yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Shador. I'm ready for Baker to keep it up. So now, getting to our last topic before the top 5 teams in the NFL. Thursday night football. The Steelers going into Cincinnati to go and play against Joe Burrow. And I'm sorry, guys, never mind. Joe Flacco. They're going to go into face the other Joe Flacco. And Steelers are 4-1. The Bengals can't score any points right now, even with they had one good deep throw by Joe Flacco to Jamar. That's about it. Like he proved one thing Joe Flacco did prove is that he can score a touchdown where Jake Browning couldn't do, but still only scored one and still lost the game by a lot. But now still is going to Cincinnati. Let's talk about this game. I feel like it's gonna be an easy topic because we both probably have the same exact thing. Who you got winning this game?
You know that meme when people be like, when you take off your glasses, you're like, oh yeah, that's Joe Burrow. You put on your glasses, like, oh,
Yeah,
we
the
have Joe
Spider Man.
Flacco.
The Spider Man thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that just kind of they have nothing for them. They are, it's bad when pretty much every analysis is like these guys. Nobody knows what's wrong with them. Um, yeah, I just single handedly have the Steelers coming out and beating them. Bengals just I don't know who's worse between them or the other Ohio team. So it's like,
Hmm.
but yeah, definitely, I feel like the Steelers is probably gonna put actually a Thursday night game, but I guess we're gonna have to tune in. I guess there's some football. We don't gotta wait till the weekend. So, um, score wise, I'm gonna just say the Steelers win 24-14.
24-14 Steelers. Yeah, almost on the same. I almost on the same score. I'm gonna say 24-10. 24-10. I think the Steelers win this game. I think they win comfortably. I think Bengals are not gonna be able to score any points again. Steelers defense is looking. Remember how we were just talking about that? How defense wasn't looking good and the offense was clicking a little bit. Now it seems like they're even
Yeah,
again. That Steelers defense is starting to look good. They're starting to get some takeaways. They're starting to look pretty good. Aaron Rodgers is having a decent season. DK Metcalf and him is actually they're actually starting to click. They're actually starting to click a little bit because like me in the beginning of the year, I told you that DK is a deep guy and Aaron Rodgers is a short throw guy. So I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to click, but DK starting to catch some little screen passes and starting to make some plays. So I think
yeah,
I think the Steelers are going to win that division, run away with it. I think the Steelers will be 5-1 after this. Like Steelers haven't had the hardest schedule yet. They haven't played the best teams, but they still are looking good right now. They're about to be 5-1. They're going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals pretty easily. Like I said, I say 24-10. So now let's get away from that game because that game is like I said, it's okay. Look, put it this way right now. If the Bengals win that game somehow, if the Bengals win that game somehow, I don't know football. I don't know. Like I'm like I don't know. I have nothing to say about it because the Steelers should go in there and cook. I think the best bet, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think the best bet to make is Joe Flacco to throw an interception. I swear, like that might be the best bet. Like Flacco, one interception might be the best bet of the day because Flacco will throw an interception against that defense. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll look at the stats. I'm starting to lean right now. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns or the interception by Flacco, but or take the under on the Browns points. If I see the Browns points at like 14, I pick it under. I'm taking under. Like, but if it's at like, I feel like the line's gonna be set at like 7 points for Browns. I mean, Browns Bengals. They're gonna score more than 7 points. But yeah, like I said, move away from that game. We're gonna get away from that. So now, top 5 teams in the NFL. We're gonna get into this for our last topic of the whole entire day. Hez, I'll let you go first, like I always do on these top 5 teams in the NFL. Who's your top 5 this week?
top five this week.
I feel like it was hard.
Number
Real sorry,
five.
sorry to
Uh,
interrupt you. I feel like this week was hard. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this week. I was looking at this week.
yeah,
I feel like it was hard.
yeah, man. Um, it was definitely tough. I was shuffling and scribbling them off, and be like, "Nah, I can't put this team up there." But I'm just gonna just kind of wing it at this point, also. But number five, I'm gonna have the Chargers,
Mm-hmm.
just because they bounced back from losing 2 games in a row, and obviously it was a game to be pretty much closed it out, especially with that catch and run from Lad McConkey at the end to set him up for that game winning drive. They definitely deserved a top five on this list so far this week because you know the Chargers they got some dogs out there, man. Especially when Justin Herbert's out there and he's doing his thing and everybody's helping him around. So and their defense actually played pretty decently. So it was just enough just to make my list this week. Number four, I'm going to have the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, just because I know everybody's trying to already downplay them and say, hey, they're not really looking like the same team. They're possibly some frauds. Some are already writing them off as frauds, but they arguably, if they can just pretty much come back out this upcoming weekend and start winning some more football games. And as we said before, it's only a matter of time of when they do because their schedule's coming up on top of the the home the home field advantage playing in this cold weather. So the Bills are talented enough to actually overcome these little humps, and they probably just wanted to kind of get these losses out the way now so they can kind of get used to getting on a roll again. So
Mm-hmm.
it was they're definitely, even though they lost, I'm gonna still have them as a top five team, making it at number four. Number three, I'm going to have your Rams. Um, For the most part, it was a really easy win against Baltimore. So we both kind of expected them to kind of just just pretty much annihilate them on both sides of the ball. Um, the Rams are still a very much a force to be reckoned with. I don't know if everybody keeps trying to doubt them because, like, well, they lost to the Niners, and I'm like, yeah, well, the Niners lost to us. So at the end of the day, who's really laughing now? But the Rams are pretty much a very good football team.
Hmm.
Um, they really have what it takes to kind of make a run this year. I honestly still have y'all coming out not only of the NFC West, but just being a top team in the NFC to be solidified in the playoff slot. So everybody can't really sleep on them. I don't know. I don't care if what has happened in the past, and even the teams that they did lose to, these were really good teams. They weren't no scrubs. So
Hmm.
uh, the Rams are definitely deserves to be on my top
Should
three.
have should have won those games.
Should
The
have won. And if they did, what would anybody? This wouldn't even be a conversation. They'd be probably up there
best
right
team.
now, if not the best team. So yeah, they're definitely going to be a number three. Number two, I'm gonna say, even though they just lost, I'm gonna still put the Lions up there, just because you know that really. I mean, other than the opening game against the Packers, this was really the game that this was the only game to me that I've seen them actually. And it wasn't even like they played poorly; they just couldn't get things going when it really mattered in the second half of the game. But the Lions, I feel like all around across the board on their depth chart are just very, very talented. They got really some ball players out there, man. Like they got a great quarterback. They got a two-headed monster in the backfield.
Hmm.
Amon St. Brown and all these other receivers, the tight ends, everybody is just, they look great, and um they have a really good coach that just knows what he's doing. Obviously, he just got a little bit more outplayed this week um, against the Chiefs, but I mean, hey, it happens to the best of them. Other than that, it's like there's really hardly any holes overall, and only ones that really seem to bite them in the butt was the fact that their secondary is a little bit banged up. So when you
Hmm.
have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, regardless of where he's at in the season with that team, good quarterbacks are going to expose that. So that's kind of just give and take there. There's only so much you can work with, but if they were healthy on that, who's to say they could have probably easily came out with that dub against Patrick Mahomes. So could have went either or. So, but the Lions, even though despite that loss, they're still a very much a valuable, good top five team, if not top two team in the league right
Hmm.
now. And number one, you already know. Just gonna, yeah, like what's there to say? And they, who really deserves it that much more right now? Just for the simple fact I don't know anybody right now that is literally down to the very last of the barrel of who we're picking up, who we're deciding to put in there and start and take out last minute. And still, the only one at this point that's not been hurt, thank God, is Baker Mayfield.
Hmm.
And look how much he's like, and it's not like, oh yeah, like Baker's still out there, he's the only one healthy and he's just having a decent game. He's doing enough to do. This dude is literally carrying everybody on his back. Like as you see, he's escaping. He's an escape artist out there. He's pump faking while he's trying to scramble, still making people miss and extend. Top of that, literally the next player to bombs it 45 yards to another rookie who was only supposed to be a punt returner, and then still goes up and gives them a comfortable lead against a team that everybody's like, they were supposed to be a good team as well coming out of your guys' division. But granted, they have some significant injuries too, but still, like even with the Niners having their backups, they're still a very good football team too. So just looking at how much of the success we haven't so far, having Baker having damn near five winning game winning drives, four, but then this one was the one where this is the first game where they actually were able to be like, yeah, we're kneeling this for the time to
Hmm.
go out, so win the game. So that actually just felt really good, and it just shows the testimony of this team. But there's just nobody that really deserves it as much right now, at least coming into this week, because man, of so much adversities and so much injuries that the Bucks has been going through so far, And the fact that we're not at 100%, not even near close to coming 100%, and we're ranked as that high, man, like it just shows how much heart this team has, man. So everybody better watch out when we get Mike and everybody back, because then we're gonna really see like, okay, who's gonna stop us then?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now my top five teams in a week. Like I said, this was such a hard week. I feel like I have so many teams like tied for sixth or like that sixth, seventh spot. So many teams tied right there. Like any of these teams could have been put in the top five. Honestly, like there was like four teams that could have been put in the top five, but I had to lead them out. They're all like at that sixth spot. So let's start at five. Five guys. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs just because they went out there and they are three. They are. Let me double check. They're 3-3, right? They're 3-3, but they just beat the Lions. Where I had the Lions as the best team in the NFL last week. And if you go out there and you've won back-to-back games, your team is looking so good so far. Mahomes is starting to pick up the pace and starting to look like a Mahomes like from the early 2020s, like throwing a whole bunch of touchdowns, throwing for yards. The offense looks really good. The defense clicked. They just beat the number one team in the NFL, in the Detroit Lions. So I think that deserves to be put up to my fifth spot. So I have the Chiefs at
Yeah,
five. At four, I had the LA Rams. I had the Rams at five last week. I told everybody, I was like, guys, I don't care if we went out there and lost these two games. We're still a top five team because if you watch those games, you watch the game against the Eagles, we're better than the Eagles. We are better than the Eagles. We just historically two blocked field goals back to back and lost the game. So we're better than the Eagles. We should have beat the Niners, but McVay went out there get cute instead of just tying the game up, and then we could have just went out there and beat the Niners. We should have beat the Niners. Like I'm telling you guys, like McVay kicks that field goal and ties the game. Mac Jones, as hurt as he was, is not coming back down and leading another drive. We would have won that game. So we should be 6-0 right now. I should be sitting here talking about the Rams are the best team in the NFL, but we're at number four. I had them at five last week. I move us up one spot mainly because I don't care if Cooper Rush or Huntley was at quarterback. Holding a team to 3 points is still 3 points. They did not score one touchdown on us. So our defense looked like we just went out there and had a great game. Only 3 points. We had so many sacks. I think we had an interception, maybe even two. But yeah, the Rams at four. At number three, this might surprise some people. I have the. I don't want to put them at three. I'll put them at three. At three, I have the Denver Broncos. I had the Broncos at three as the third best team in the NFL right now. Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they're starting to actually click a little bit. Bo Nix is not having the best year, but he's being consistent. He's going out there throwing when he needs to. The run game is looking really good. J.K. Dobbs is starting to run the ball really well with that team. The offensive line is really good. Bo Nix has only taken he has taken the third least hits in the whole NFL right now. So Bo Nix is the offensive line is looking good. The Broncos have the best points per game, least points given up in the whole entire league this year. They have the best points per game average, so their defense is holding teams to low scoring. They have the best red zone defense in the entire league. So when teams get in that red zone, they're usually kicking a field goal because they're not scoring touchdowns on the Broncos. So that Broncos defense, that run game is starting to look really good. Bo Nix is being consistent, just not losing the game. So I have the Broncos at three. Might be surprising to some people, but I have the Broncos better than the Rams and better than the Chiefs right now. Two teams I don't have the Broncos better than. I had the Detroit Lions at two. I had them at my number one spot last week, but they lost the game to the Chiefs. They got blown out, so I had to move them down to two. I don't think they are I don't think they are like dropping down too far because I do believe they're still a good team and I do believe they can come out there and win these games. But if they go out there and lose another game, I'm probably going to drop them out of my top five. But I have the Detroit Lions at two, and for the number one spot, I feel like the number one spot was the easiest part of this whole entire thing. Hold on, I can't see. So you put something up, didn't you? Why is it not popping up? Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. But yeah, number one, the easiest spot the whole entire week to put it up is the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are the best team in the NFL right now, guys. They are the hands down the best team in the NFL. They're Baker Mayfield's leading this team, like Hez just said. Baker Mayfield's leading this team without everybody. They have so many hurt players, and they're still 5-1. They're not using the excuse, oh, we're just hurt, so we're not winning these games. It's just yeah, I just have them just the best team in the NFL. Like if all their players were hurt, I think they I mean not hurt. If they had a fully healthy game, a fully healthy team going into that Eagles game, they could be 6-0 right now. Because in that Eagles game, I think they had Mike Evans, but they had Mike Evans in that game. But the one thing they didn't have is their offensive line was hurt and the defense was hurt. Now those players are back, but now the wide receivers are hurt. So it seems like if everybody was there for that Eagles game, I feel like they could have beat the Eagles because me and you were even. Did they have Mike Evans for that game, or they didn't have Mike Evans for that game?
They had him, but he got hurt before half.
Okay, yeah. So he got hurt before half. So yeah, that's even like even if Mike Evans might have been there for the second half, they could have pulled it off. So yeah, I have the Buccaneers at number one. I feel like that's the easiest spot, their easiest pick of the whole week. But now I want to get into the teams I left off real quick because there are so many teams that are tied for that sixth spot, six, seven spot for me. I swear, there's so many teams like the Eagles. I could have put the Eagles in there, but the Eagles, I just don't believe in the Eagles this year. I really don't. So I dropped them out of my top five. They've lost in 2 games and they're bad losses. So I feel like I should have brought them out. The Buffalo Bills, I could have had the Buffalo Bills in top five. Even though I still believe in the Bills, I just feel like you can't have back to back losses and still be in the top five team. They like I said, in about 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like we're gonna talk about them being at that third, fourth, second spot again. So I had to move them out of my top five. I could have put New England in the top five. New England's having a great time right now. I could have put New England there. New England's in that echelon where Drake May is doing really good. The defense is doing good. The running game's doing good. Like New England could have been in that spot. I could have put Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 4-1. I could have put them in that spot as well. But Pittsburgh, I just don't. I just think they haven't played anybody yet. Once they start playing some real teams, I can start talking about how good I see how good the Pittsburgh Steelers are. But they haven't played anybody that's really that good. The other team I could have put in there,
Yeah.
the Chargers. I could have put the Chargers in there, but I don't know. I don't have a reasoning behind that. I just more see like I have to wait till I see the Chargers. Like they beat the Dolphins, but they barely beat the Dolphins. Dolphins almost came back and won that game. So yeah, Chargers could have been in there. The one team I feel like so many people have in their top five this week, but I'm not ready to trust them. I feel like everybody had this team in their top five. I mean, you didn't, and I didn't, but is the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 5-1, but they have not played anybody still to this day. The one team they have played that was good, they was the Rams, and they lost that game. I guess they did beat the Broncos, but if you guys go remember watch that Broncos game, the Broncos should have won that game. Like
Yeah.
guys, hold on. Let me say it one time. I haven't said this in a few weeks. Leverage. Leverage. Like the Broncos should have won that game if it wasn't for. I still haven't seen a leverage call for their like 6 weeks in since that play. I haven't seen a leverage call. There hasn't been a leverage call since then, but they called it for the Broncos, and the Indianapolis Colts won that game. So the two teams they've actually played that are actually good, they lost to the Rams, and a leverage call saved them from losing to the Broncos. So they should have 2 losses on the record right now, but I just don't trust them. Everyone's putting Indianapolis in the top five. I just can't trust them right now. So yeah, those are like honorable mentions. Like I said, all of them are like tied for that 7 spot. New England, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Indianapolis, Philadelphia. Hell, you can even put Seattle right there too. So like, yeah, there's so like I said, this was the hardest week. But like I said, my top five was five. We have the Chiefs, 4 the Rams, 3 the Broncos, 2 Detroit Lions, and number 1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and they have if they have to put an honorable mention, we can't forget about the Raiders. No, I'm just kidding.
No. How the Raiders? The Raiders just won a game. They're 2-4. I forgot they just beat Tennessee. Okay, real quick before we get out of here, I just want to say this right now. I just wanted to ask this question: who do you think is the worst team in the NFL? We haven't done that, but who's the worst team in the NFL?
Raiders is definitely up there. But right now it's just and it's no shade towards him because he could still be a good quarterback for maybe the upcoming years, depending on what they decide to do with the organization moving forward. And I know they just fired their coach, but I'm gonna say right now the Titans are probably the worst team.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
they can't score nothing. They really can't. So honestly, I think it's down to these 4 teams. It's down to Tennessee, the Jets, Cleveland, New Orleans. Like it's down to those 4 teams. Who are the worst teams in the NFL? Honestly,
oh, I forgot about the Jets.
the Jets haven't won a game, but I can I oh man, real quick, guys. Did you see the Jets game? How the time management and everything was going with Aaron Glenn? How he just didn't know what he was doing right before halftime? Like that.
Yeah,
I think he might not be able to be. He might not be ready for to be a head coach. Like it just looked bad. Like, and he kept running the ball when they needed the pass. He just kept running it. Like
Yeah.
I, I didn't understand it. I don't know if Aaron Glenn can even coach a team anymore. But it's not the Jets just because I've seen the Jets put up 30 and still lose. Like I've seen the Jets have a good couple games, but they just lost. Like you know what I'm saying? I had the two teams I haven't seen have a good game yet. Actually, one of them had a good win, so I can't say that. Yeah, it's Tennessee. Tennessee's the worst team in the NFL. I agree with you. Like their offense can't beat anybody. At least Cleveland has a win against Green Bay, so I can't take that win against Cleveland for against Green Bay. They did beat Green Bay. Their defense is good. They have a good defense. So the Jets have scored points before. They've had good games. They just went out there and lost. I think they put up what they put up like 30 or like against the Cowboys or something like that.
Hmm.
So they've had a good game. The New Orleans, they went out there and they just won a game. I forgot who they beat. I forgot who they beat, but the New Orleans they had a good win. So the one team that just can't score and they've had an ugly win even when they did win was Tennessee. So yeah, Tennessee is the worst team in the NFL. So let's go Tennessee. Let's go. But Tennessee worst team in the NFL. But all right, guys, that is it for all of our topics for today. Right before we get out of here, like I always do, Hez, was there anything you saw in the NFL this week that you wanted to put some noise on?
Um, that was kind of crazy about that fight at the end of the game between Juju and Branch. Yeah,
I
that was
was.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, that fight, it just looked like it was frustration from the Lions. It just looked like it was just big frustration. Then a fight happened, then it turned out to like a whole entire brawl where everybody came onto the field, and yeah, that was a wild situation. Honestly, I had to watch it after because after the game was over, I turned it off. Like right when Patrick Mahomes was about to nail the ball, I was like, all right, I'm not watching this no more. Then I go on Instagram and I see, oh shit, they fought. Oh damn. Uh,
Yeah, it was wild. And you see all these memes coming up. Juju's just all busted in the lip and the nose, and I'm like, oh man, like he didn't deserve that. But then I don't blame him either because he's just like, you know what, like, dude, who you think you're messing with? Like, you lost already. Like, go home. But
mhm.
yeah, it was just clear frustration from the guys, or mainly from him. So now they say he's suspended for the
Who's
next game,
suspended?
going against Tampa Bay. That guy
Oh, Branch.
Branch, the one that
Okay,
fought
yeah,
Juju.
he deserved to be suspended for sure.
So they definitely said he's going to be out for this next Monday night game coming up against Tampa. So I don't know. That was didn't really need to happen, but the fact that it did, and I'm like, wow. And people are just like, yeah, Juju got beat up, this and that. And he's from my hometown in Long Beach, so everybody's just like, man, let anybody else be in predicament. We would not get our ass beat. And I'm just like, man, I mean, these are grown men, you know. I was like, at the end of the day, Juju still played a good game, so I don't,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. I don't know what people say. Oh, he got beat up. Who cares, bro? Like, who cares? He plays football. He's not a UFC fighter. Like, they ain't talking about fighters right
Yeah,
now. Like, oh, so who cares? Most of these people that talk like that will hop into a real ring and a real fight and get beat up anyways too. So like, so I don't know.
facts.
I don't understand when people say that. Oh, you got beat up on the street, bro. Who cares? Like, who cares? You know, ain't nobody in the street can fight. Ain't nobody can fight.
Yeah,
Like, unless you trained and you do martial arts or you hop into a ring, maybe then you can fight. But even some of those guys can't even fight. Some of them are like 1 in 5. But yeah, man, like trust me. Take
yeah,
this from the guy that literally watches all fighting 24/7. All I do is watch fights. So like just take it from me. Like, ain't nobody in the street can fight. So it's like what did Lonzo Ball say? Ain't nobody in the NBA want to fight. Like it's like but anything else has right before we get out of here?
that's it, man. Just wanted to literally say, everybody stay safe, stay positive, as always, stay hydrated, and just keep being you guys because you are
Yeah,
enough.
guys, guess what? He said stay hydrated this time. Look, remember last time I said I don't agree with that part. I had coffee. Look, I got some water right here, guys. Look, I got. I'm actually saying a little hydrated today. I am. I took the advice from Hez. But yeah, guys, like Hez said, be safe, stay hydrated. Remember, you guys always matter. No matter what's going on in your life, you guys do matter. We want to spread them positive vibes. Even if you're Juju Smith, don't listen to those people. People get beat up sometimes. Like, you do matter. But all right, guys, we're out of here. After the snap, episode 13 is over. We will be back on Saturday for our full Sunday slate, breaking down all the games, and also talking about some Thursday night football action or any other topics that pop up over this week. But all right, guys, it was a nice show. I'll see you, man. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Peace.
See you guys.